perfection, what does that mean to you? The chances are you would all probably have a different answer. You see, we all have a different idea or perspective on perfection. Perfection cannot be defined. Correction. Perfection cannot be defined in one way. Some of you may think that something perfect could be a diamond. So perfectly cut and, well, perfect. Or in my case, you could say that it was getting the highest score in a video game, but different perspective. In this talk, I want to tell you my perspective and the fact that perfection is really not all that great. In our world, if our world was perfect, we wouldn't have the things that we have today. Society has changed perfection in so many ways. But why? I remember back in dance class, I started when I was 4. I would always fall and fall over nothing, but that takes skill, right? But I would always get right back up. And when it came recital time, I would always be that one person that everybody would be looking at to make sure they remembered all of the moves. That's an imperfection that I was willing to live with, because it showed accomplishment in overcoming that imperfection and understanding how to appreciate it. I also sing and play guitar and piano, but singing is really my major. I've been told so many times, you're not good enough, you'll never be good enough, you'll never get anywhere with singing. But I've been told so many more times that I'm amazing and that I should keep on going. That's another imperfection that I'm willing to live with. I could find myself often thinking about the times where I notice I'm imperfect. Maybe I don't have both parents, maybe my bond with my mom might not be the greatest, but I still have her, don't I? I still have at least one. It's an imperfection, but it's worth it. Now, when I talk about things that we would have or would not have in our world if it wasn't for imperfections or mistakes, I'm talking about 4 inventions that I'm going to tell you about today. There are 4 inventions that I think that are very important to me, that I think would be important to you. Now, how many of you absolutely adore? And when I say adore, I don't mean say you adore because I tell you to and then you're going to go home and be like, why'd she tell me to? But I mean adore, like you utterly can say, honestly, that you absolutely love chocolate chip cookies. Come on, you can do it. It's okay. It's okay. Did you know that chocolate chip cookies were made by mistake? The inventor's name is Ruth Wakefield. She's the owner of Toll House Incorporated. She was trying to make chocolate cookies when she realized that she had ran out of baker's chocolate. She then had to substitute sweetened chocolate for the baker's chocolate. She broke it up into the dough and expected it all to melt, but it didn't. And therefore, that's why we have chocolate chip cookies. Pretty amazing, right? What about Slinkys? Now, Slinkys were made also by mistake. It may seem really silly, but it kept us really entertained when we were 4, didn't it? The inventor's name is Richard Jones. He's a naval engineer. He was trying to conduct research to monitor power on naval ships when all of a sudden one of the tension springs fell on the floor. And he chased it from here and there. And I think it's kind of funny thinking of an old man chasing after a spring, but that's when the Slinky was born. Did you know that if it wasn't for a cook in China, we would never be able to go out on the 4th of July and watch beautiful fireworks? That sucks, doesn't it? The inventor's name was never discovered, but we do know he was a cook in China. He was simply experimenting in the kitchen when he accidentally mixed together charcoal, sulfur, and saltpeter, and it all exploded. Last but not least is the pacemaker. Now, it's an invention that I have a personal connection with because my mother has one. The inventor's name is John Hobbs. He's an electrical engineer. He was trying to conduct research on hypothermia. He realized that if cold could stop a heart, what could heat do? And so that is why we have the pacemaker. And did you know that over 400,000 people are saved yearly just due to the pacemaker? That's a pretty big imperfection. We would also not know what a challenge is. We would never understand overcoming a challenge. We would never understand falling over nothing in dance class and then getting back up and understanding the dance routine. We would never know what it felt like to overcome something. And I think that with perfection, our world wouldn't really be perfect. Because if you don't have that sense of accomplishment, there's really no reason to living. Bram Stoker once said, "We learn from failure and not from success." What that means to me is we learn from our imperfections rather than our perfections. We learn from falling down over nothing. We learn from being told so many times that we're never good enough. We don't learn from being perfect and doing every single thing correctly. We learn from imperfections. Now, Cassandra once said, "We are an imperfect world searching for perfections. We judge others for their imperfections, yet we are imperfect ourselves." We take judgment to a whole new level. At least our society has changed it that way. Now, if you try to think of a world with perfection and think, "Oh, we'd be fine without these 4 inventions," then you'd be wrong, because I can't live without chocolate chip cookies. And maybe, just maybe, we should stop being that imperfect world searching for perfections and understand that imperfections are okay. Today I've told you about 4 inventions that turned out for the better. 4 inventions that we can't live without. 4 inventions that 400,000 people would probably not be alive due to. One of them is my mother. We are judged by how we look, the way we act, even by what our personality is, and we try every single day to be that perfect person, to fit in, to understand what it meant like to be perfect and wanted. We think that to become wanted, we should fit in, we should be perfect, we should be that beautiful girl that every single guy wants. But within me living my life and falling down over nothing and being told that I would never be good enough, I understood imperfections, and I learned that that is the thing that makes us different, not from being like everybody else. Imperfections define us, and they define the line between being like everybody else and being yourself. I thank you for letting me share my perspective on imperfections. And I challenge you to go out and make that mistake. I challenge you to fall down. I challenge you to understand that you're fine. I challenge you to not wear so much makeup. I challenge you to not try to fit in. I challenge you to not worry about what you're saying because it's not the right thing to say. Nobody will accept you because of it. I challenge you to do things out of the ordinary because it's what makes you different. I challenge you to make mistakes because mistakes are the best imperfection you could ever do. Thank you.